Hello there, and welcome to episode 23 of Turning Tracks. My name is Kris.
And I'm Matt.
And we're here to talk about the music that we love. For this episode, I went with an artist that hits me a bit different than a lot of the other music in my library. It's probably what I would consider the coolest music I know. It's also apparently pretty far off the beaten path. Prepare your ears for some lo-fi feedback, because tonight we listen to the music of Jack Drag. Well, hi there, Matt.
Hi there, Kris.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am also pretty good. I'm really excited about this for a couple of reasons. This is going to be a fun episode. I love it when I get to introduce you to music you haven't heard, and this is one of those instances. And I've been listening to this guy's discography like for the last couple of weeks, really, and it's just been a trip. I've been having a good time. So for anyone who's new to the show, here's how it works. Each episode, either Matt or myself picks a band or artist. That person then has to choose 10 tracks and 10 tracks only that they believe best represent that band or artist. We listen to them, discuss them, and that's how it goes. So, yeah, I guess, are you ready to get started with this thing?
Always.
Excellent. John Dragonetti recorded his first album on a cassette 4-track in Boston 1994 under the name Jack Drag. Shortly after, he was signed by A&M Records, where he released his second album, or as we just discovered before this show, possibly third album? I'll get back to that in a minute. And has released other albums independently periodically ever since. He's also a member of the band The Submarines, as well as a film and television composer, as well as a producer whose works include the album Simmercane 2 by Chadwick Stokes, who is a member of the band Dispatch, who we covered on this very show before. What fun!
Oh, man.
Jack Drag's last original release was in 2019, and I have no idea if there will ever be more, but I hope there will be. There are a total, I think, of 6 Jack Drag albums, and they are all worth listening to. I didn't wind up picking any tracks off of 2000's Aviating, but while it's probably my least favorite album of his that I know of, it's still dang good. I'm amending the script as we go, because right before we started the episode, I went to look for a picture of Jack Drag to use for our episode title, and came across a Jack Drag album from 1997 that I had never heard of called Unisex Headwave. It's not listed on his website. It's not listed anywhere where I can stream the music, but the songs do not appear to, like, the song titles don't match up to any of the song titles for his albums that I do own. So I'm just super confused. So I ordered the CD off of Amazon for $2.80. I will pull out an old computer with a disk drive so that I can extract said audio and listen to this music and find out what it's all about, because I must say I'm rather mystified. It's got 2 different covers. I found a Japanese version listed on Discogs with a totally different cover. Oh. Yeah. Freaking wild, man.
That is... So, I mean... So I kind of got sucked into it a little bit too, because you hit me with a mystery. You know what I mean? Like, I love this idea that there's like a record that just, very casually came out and nobody, said nothing, knows nothing. Like, that's so wild to me.
It's utterly fascinating, and especially because I genuinely enjoy all of this guy's records, top to bottom. Every single one of them. There's not a song that I listen to like, boy, I hate that track, I'm going to skip it. The only reason I didn't pick anything off of Aviating was that it works really well as an album, but I can't say none of the tracks really stuck out, but they didn't stick out enough to be like, I should pick this instead of this, you know what I mean? Like, there were these other songs that I just thought represented more of what I like about this guy's music than other stuff off of that one album. But that album works pretty well as like, this is an album instead of like, oh, this is the standout track, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So but I can't wait to hear this other album of his, especially because it's of when it came out, because as we're gonna go through this track list in chronological order, this other album is from before he got signed. And you'll listen to the first 3 tracks we're going to listen to off his first album. And they have this just delightful low fidelity independent rock sound that I just adore. So I guess I'll double check. You have no history with Jack Drag, correct?
This is going to be brand new to me, but you keep saying lo-fi, and that's exciting to me.
Yes, it's really just the first album is super low fidelity, but it fills my heart with love. Because I love lo-fi garage band sounding music from the early 90s. I just love that sound so much. I discovered Jack Drag when I moved to Brooklyn. A friend of mine, John Wentz, and I moved to Brooklyn, New York together to try to be musicians. And he is infinitely cooler than I am. And he had his fingers on the pulse, as it were. He was just much more involved in the music scene. And he had this mixtape or mix CD that had a couple of songs from Jack Drag on it. It's also how I discovered the band The Meters, which was super fun. He lent me the album to rip to my computer, the one album that he had. He had two albums of his, and I was like, this is so good. I really love this. And then I didn't really check to see if he did any more music beyond those two albums until I was preparing for this episode, when I mentioned last month that we were going to do Jack Drag next. And I was like, all right, well, let's look through the rest of his discography. And then I listened to the rest of his albums, except the one I just discovered existed tonight, and fell in love with all of them too. So this has been a really fun trip for me, even before recording the episode. So I guess we should just get started off the bat.
I'm ready.
Our first song is called Velour. It's the first song off of his debut album from 1994, which I always thought was just called Jack Drag. It seemed like it was just a self-titled album, but according to his website, the album is called Pop Spelled Backwards, which is fun. I love this album. This is actually probably my favorite album of his, which isn't to say that it all goes downhill from here. There's just, you'll hear exactly what I'm talking about as soon as the music starts. It's just this wonderful, perfect indie rock sounding thing. I don't know how else to put it. It's wonderfully lo-fi. This is a great tune. It's called Velour. Enjoy. right, that was Velour by Jack Drag. Do you see what I mean?
As far as what's concerned,
The low fidelity, the lo-fi sound, this
yeah,
it sounds like he's recording his drums in a room or something. Like this, there's so much natural reverb happening there.
yeah.
I don't know what it is about this song in particular, really everything off of this album that just I just love it. I just love everything about the sound. I like how almost unintelligible the lyrics are. I like the melody. I like the guitar sounds. I just like everything about it. How did you feel about it?
It's giving me vibes of another group, and I can't quite put my finger on it just yet. It'll come to me probably in like 2 or 3 songs. I'll stop thinking about it and it'll pop. Um, what I appreciate the absolute most is how, and I'm about to use a word and I don't mean to be pretentious. It's not my intention, but how raw the recording sounds. So to your
Mm.
point about the drums sounding like it's just a lot of ambient room tone. Excuse me, like just the ambient noise of the room. Um, it the snare wasn't my favorite when I first started hearing it because I get overly critical of things. I guess I'm so used to listening to, what I listen to that I have a very oh, here comes the pretension. I have a very different set of standards, and I don't mean that way. I just can't think of another way of saying it. I'm just used to hearing things. What I listen to, I'm just used to hearing different, which is weird because I listen to a lot of old industrial, and it's just people. It's like the cast of Stomp. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, like
it took.
like you said in the before, this was recorded on a cassette 4-track. Like that
Oh,
was it.
I'm glad you bring that up too, because I was gonna ask if this was the material that was part of that 4-track
Yeah.
cassette tape. That makes absolute perfect sense. And that being said, it sounds fantastic for that. There's really something to be said for, those days when you were recording and bussing down, on these Tascam 4-tracks and stuff. Like come to band practice, like, oh, I got this new one or whatever. But this guy's like, no, this is my record. You know. But that being said, it definitely brings me back to that time period where there was like a strong kind of low fidelity sound, overall sound. It's the singer is rattling around in my head and I can't think of the band that they're in. It'll come to me. I promise the audience I'll have a name because I don't want you to go on this journey with me and then scream at me like they sound like this. Okay. Otherwise, I love it. It sounds great. There's like this really. I'm very surprised that a 4-track cassette could have that much depth. And when I talk about depth, it's always about the reverb and the delay and how full, because it's supposed to be 4 tracks. I don't know how deep to bussing down and things he was doing, but fantastic job. Sounds great. I'm digging it so far. Not necessarily my cup of tea per se. I especially didn't like this kind of music when it was at the forefront, when it was, the big, this was the soup du jour, so to speak. But I certainly grew to appreciate a lot of it. And I dig this. So I'm ready for the next one.
Excellent. I'm really curious how you're going to react to the way that this that his music has evolved. Because there's a definite through line, but by the time we get to the last song, it's going to be pretty different than what we're listening to now, which is cool.
Okay.
But we got 2 more tracks off of this album because again, I had it's my favorite one. This one I just love putting this on in the background and cooking or something with the windows open while listening to this album. And really, it's the first 3 tracks that just bowl me over every time. So. The next track is called Loop. It's the 2nd track on the album. It's I don't know what to say about it that's so special other than there's just something about it that rubs me exactly the right way. So this track's called Loop. Enjoy. That was Loop by Jack Drag. I don't know why I find there's like a part where the shaker kind of falls out of sync with itself and then matches back up. I don't know why I find that so charming in this song, but I do. Again, I can't really tell you what it is that I like so much about this song, but I find this entire album weirdly soothing. How did this one grab you?
And I like how you say weirdly soothing because I actually do get it. Um, Man, this is really reminding me of like stuff you would have heard on the soundtrack to Stigmata. Um, it's one of these bands like the Jesus Mary Chain or something. That's not who I'm looking for, but it's one of those bands, and I'm compiling a list in my head, and I'm gonna brain dump probably after the next song. But that being said, yeah, this is really like I don't know how to say this where it doesn't sound like I'm being insulting because I'm not. This is very like non-committal music. You're absolutely right. Like you could totally throw this on and it can play and like not be engaged with it and yet still be entertained by it. Like I feel like there's some stuff where you put it on and you can get lost in it. Like you said, you would cook, right? So sometimes I do the same thing. Sometimes when I prep food and stuff, I'll throw my headphones on, um, just because the task of prepping food is like pulling teeth. Um, but I'll get lost in my own music. Like I'll stop and I'll like do whatever, and then sometimes we just put on like what's now known as lo-fi music around the house and do chores or whatever and just not engage in it. This is definitely the latter, but like in the best possible way, right? Like you don't have to think about it. There's not, like you said, there's probably not, like I don't know that I don't know that I'll feel the same way you do. I think I will. I feel like there's not going to be a song where I go, whoa, skip that one. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
very rare that
there's not a single song on any of his albums that I'm just like, all right, that's enough. I,
That's enough out of you.
I
Um,
just genuinely enjoy it all the way through.
yeah, I can't imagine that I would find something that I would go, nah, skip it. Because the minute I want to skip something is the minute I'm taken out of
Yeah,
like the whole thing. I'm a big fan. I mean, I love concept records, and I know it's not really a thing anymore. Or if it is, it's just not the groups I'm listening to. But it doesn't have to be a concept record for me. But I mean, like a total package is, from start to finish, where you take a journey. I'll take that. You know, so a lot of the stuff I think that I keep in my back pocket is stuff that I could press play and it goes all the way to the ends and I don't. So this is definitely something that I feel like I could have on in the house and not
it
think
is.
twice
Yeah,
about it.
it's without a doubt one of my favorite background albums. Like
Do you, does now to tie in with some of our Discord chat and stuff, do you have any of this vinyl? Does it exist on vinyl?
the his next record, his one studio album is the only one that exists on vinyl, and I've
Okay.
almost bought it secondhand on Discogs once or twice, but never quite followed through with it.
Gotcha.
I'd like to, but money's just been a bit too tight for me to justify spending any money on anything, really. So
Listen, I'm right there with you. I get it. I know there's our listeners out there get it too. You ain't got to make up nothing, you know what I'm saying?
all right, well, the last song we're going to listen to off of this album, Pop Spelled Backwards, is
That will never not make you laugh.
it's a very silly album title. I love it. This song is called Hail the Caffeine Dream. Another very silly song title. I think this song is beautiful. It's just a wonderfully gorgeous song. This is the one that this is one of the tracks off this album that just really sticks out to me. It's just a lovely piece of music. So here is Hail the Caffeine Dream by Jack Drag. Enjoy. Well, there you go. That was Hail the Caffeine Dream by Jack Drag. And I love that song. You talk about perfect background music. It just that song lulls me very, very much. There's something about that effect he's got going on the guitar. I forget what it's called. It's not like reverb. It's some sort of specific effect that's going on with that guitar that I just find extremely chill, and it reminds me of being a musician in Brooklyn uh, before I had a family and all this stuff. It just this entire album reminds me so much of that specific time in my life, and what it was like trying to make a living off of creating music and playing gigs, and just being by myself in New York with just a couple of friends and far away from everything else that I knew. And there's just something weirdly comforting about this music, because while that time of my life was very scary, it was also really exciting. So I guess where I am now, being able to look back on it, this just feeling makes me happy. So, and this song in particular, I think it's just a beautiful piece of music. I love it.
You know, they say smell, your sense of smell and scent is probably the strongest and most tied to memories. I'm not going to argue that because it's true. But music has such a way of allowing a human being to time travel. Um, so when you talk about this particular artist, these songs taking you right back to that time and space, before being a true adult. I absolutely get that, because there are certain songs that from artists I love that the minute I hear them, I'm taken right back to being 16 in my bedroom in the summertime with the windows open, 22 and walking through the park in the fall, whatever it is. I have these songs. So I totally get that. And, one of the whole, again, if this is your first time joining us, one of the reasons we're doing this show is because we love music so much, and it's so intrinsically tied to us as people in our lives. And I'm sure you, the audience too. I totally get that, what you were talking about, get that just from the sound of that song. Like, without listening to the lyrics, just like passively listening to it, I could totally get that. Um, I think I tried to go back while you were talking a little bit to hear what effect he was using on the guitar. It's either a tremolo.
Tremolo, that's the word I was thinking of. I
Then
don't
it
know
definitely is a
exactly if that's
tremolo.
what it is, but that's
Yeah.
the word I was thinking of.
No, it's got to be a tremolo. Because the other thing I was gonna say was like a phase shifter, which it's not, because it would be like
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a phase.
Yeah, so it's got to be a tremolo. He's got a great ear for putting stuff together, and prior to starting the episode, you and I were talking about it, and I was like, oh, he's you mentioned he's done a lot of stuff for television. Sadly, it's not stuff I've seen, but like, I get mad. I get mad at musicians who can crank out a couple of albums, every so often, and then still have enough in them to go do soundtracks. Like, I get mad, like Trent Reznor, Clint Mansell. You get your John Williamses, your Hans Zimmer. Like, f all you guys, man, for being so talented. Leave some for the rest of us.
That's how I think I mentioned that when we were doing the Chocolat episode, or
Yes.
lead writer Michael, and said he could just crank out more good songs in 15 minutes in the morning than I could in my lifetime. It's just the great music just poured right out of him.
It makes you just want to hit him. Like, stop it. But the blessing and the curse that is, that just to be that person. At any rate, it's a beautiful song. It's a very beautiful song. I don't want you to answer this question. I want to discover it on my own. I'm curious if this is pretty much kind of the pacing, the tempo of what's going to keep presenting itself. That's rhetorical. Not looking for an answer. I will discover on my own. Proceed, sir.
Okay. So we're going to move on to our next track, which is the first. This is the first track off of their his major label record. It's called Dope Box. This is a really good record. This is a really, really good album. And this is a really, really good song. And, well, it's got a lot more energy.
All right.
Not to spoil your questioning, but also just kind of to give you to give the audience a heads up, I guess. It's this might actually be one of the coolest songs I ever heard. It's just an unbelievably cool piece of music. So here is Debutante from Dope Box. Please enjoy. That was Debutante by Jack Drag. You seemed to make an exclamation when it started,
Yes.
and then it changed a couple of times. How did you feel about that one?
I was not expecting that. You know what I hate is the minute I hear something, I get thoughts in my head, and I go, yes. And then we get to the end of it, and I've forgotten it. I really should start writing these things down. This gave me vibes of someone else, and I forgot who it was. I'm still the problem is I'm still searching for the groups for the first 3 songs we listened to, and then the name I had in my mind is gone, so I don't remember the original group that those first 3 tracks were. I'm a mess. I imagine if you're listening to this in your car and you drive to work, you're like, I hate this guy. I'm just gonna turn it off. I don't blame you. Anyway, let's talk about the track at hand. First of all, like I said, did not expect that. Although I'm not surprised, a little peek behind the curtain, I was looking for something else about this band. I was trying to see if I can maybe come up with an answer for that record that you just discovered, and I came across like an article that looks like it's an interview with. I didn't read it because that's rude. It looks like it's an interview with Jack Drag and about his recording, because all the other articles on the page are about other producers and engineers and stuff talking about how they record, et cetera, et cetera. The blurb at the front, the first thing I read was about that record a little bit, but it's about this record where he actually has 2 other people with him backing him up. So I'm curious now how much input those 2 have on the music on this record. And I guess I'll figure that out as we, proceed through. But that being said, that was a real, all things considered, right? All things being equal, that was a real left turn.
Yeah, following Hail the Caffeine Dream in particular, this is a heck of a turn. But boy, I freaking love that song. That was the first song I had ever heard by Jack Drag. That was the first song that came up when my friend John played this music for me. And I was like, okay, well, this is unbelievably cool. This just has such a good beat to it. It's it's loud, it's energetic, it's just super fun. I just absolutely love that song so much.
No, there's a real energy there that's interesting to me. And I know when people say things are, oh, that's interesting, it really means they hate it. That's totally not true. I like it a lot. I can't quite put my finger on it. I really have to put to bed with those first 3 tracks, who they remind me. I have to put that to bed first, and then I got to get on this one now. So that's my mission. All right. Anyway,
all right. Well, we're gonna stick with this album, Dope Box, which was really, really difficult for me to not put the title track in this list, because it's a really good song. In fact, Dope Box there's an earlier version of it on Pop Spelled Backwards. And then it's just kind of taken to the next level on this album. This is another really good album. Picking just a few tracks off it was very difficult, but the next one I wanted to pick is this is the most, I guess, radio friendly pop song I've ever heard from him. It's called Tall Buildings. It is marvelously catchy. This is I don't think I realized that this was the same band on that mix album. The mix CD my friend was played me, because like Debutante and this song just sound so different that I was really just kind of taken aback when found out they were on the same record, but not in a bad way. It's really quite good. I love this song. I really do. So here's Tall Buildings by Jack Drag. Enjoy.
She brings the light, she makes it alright. I see, you know it's always better. She sits at the table, I go in the room with you. I know it's really not that late, but I lose, 'cause nothing ever keeps me awake. I feel so slow, I can't even move my mouth. That's how it goes with 14-hour
Tall Buildings by Jack Drag off of his album Dope Box from, I forgot the year, 1998. Good old 1998. How'd you feel about that one?
Oh, okay. Few hanging dangling participles we need to take care of. Still don't know what that means.
A couple of hanging chads.
This is, well, you know what? This isn't a family-friendly show. You can hang a chat all you like. So the first 3 tracks, I was right. They remind me. He reminds me. That production reminds me. The Jesus and Mary chain. For anybody that's got the original Crow soundtrack, there's a song on there called Snake Driver. It's very much in that vein. Kris,
Okay.
I'll point that out for you. Maybe give it a listen.
I know what you're talking about. I loved the Crow soundtrack.
Oh, I mean, it's fantastic.
I haven't listened to it in a very long time. I'm gonna have to give that a listen, but I'm pretty sure I know exactly which song you're talking about.
As a card-carrying member of the Goth Society, it's a requirement that I listen to it at least once a month. So it's always in my rotation. Okay. Other groups that came to mind with those earlier tracks, not so much like direct these 2 pieces fit, but like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Oh hell, what was the other one that came to mind? I can't think of it. Remy Zero, which if you've never listened to, is a very like obscure pick. But that's the song, that's the group that appears on the Stigmata soundtrack that I was thinking of that kind of gave me.
Remy Zero. I haven't thought about that in ages.
So very quickly, for everyone who listens to the show and then the episode drops, and then I see you on like Monday afternoon and Tuesday mornings going, Remy Zero, or, you know, Stabbing Westward. Or I love that stuff. I love that I can throw these names out there and you're like, holy crap. I think it almost might be my favorite part of the show. Anyway. The last track, not the track we just listened to, but the track before it, Debutante. Beck.
Debutante, yep. Yeah, I can hear that.
It reminds me so much of Beck. Even to his inflections, which is very interesting. The song we just listened to, it has such this interesting, like 60s swing to it, like kind of how the old rock of the 60s was. Maybe even there's like a little Beatles in there, the way Ringo used to drum. It's really, really fascinating and interesting.
Honestly, that one reminded me a bit of Pavement. In fact, for a little while, I kind of thought that was a Pavement song before I kind of figured my shit out. But yeah.
Get it together, Kris. Pavement's a name I haven't heard in a while, so thank you for that. Wow, yeah, Pavement. Wow. All right, anyway, this is such an interesting departure, but I'm gonna not jump the gun per se, but I read a blurb. I don't know. I guess I didn't send this to you. There's a blurb about Unisex Headwave, which is this mysterious album that we just found out about. It was made in '97, so he actually has 2 gentlemen with him on this record, and from what I'm reading, it seems like Unisex Headwave is the missing link between the cassette and then as a Dope Box.
Right. Which is what's really exciting to me about this album. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything else because I want you to gotta kind of go in clean. Just know that I think that this might be that missing link, that bridging gap between the 2 records. But that being said, this is a very interesting track. Like I said, I'm very interested where this is going.
Mm-hmm. Well, then let's keep it going because this is a really cool left turn. This next
Here we go again.
This next track is called I Feel Really Okay, and it's pretty different from the last 2 tracks, which is why I picked it. This actually has a pretty similar vibe to the song Dope Box, but I think I kind of like this one a little bit better, maybe? Mm-hmm. They're both really good songs, but this one just kind of spoke to me as far as, no, this is the one you should put in the episode. So this is I Feel Really Okay. Enjoy.
on a shitty day. I got this melody. I really dig the bass line.
Well, there you have it. That is I Feel Really Okay by Jack Dragon. I don't know about you, Matt, but I really dig the bass line.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny that he called that out too. Just a little insight into the type of person he is, I suppose.
But he's not wrong. It's a really cool bass line in that song.
No, it really was. I hate that I'm sitting here and I'm like calling out other artists. Like, this song reminds me so much of this person and this band and this group, but like I can't help but do it. And this reminded me so much of like what's that song? It's a soul coughing song. Is it Mezzanine? Dang, I can't remember it. But like, it just has like these really this particular track, because obviously the two before it a little more aggressive, a little more gruff. This has a really chill vibe to it. This is what I've come to associate with the term lo-fi. So earlier when you said lo-fi, I got excited because I thought it was gonna be like really chill and, you know, Puff the Magic Dragon time.
Right. No, I just meant literally low fidelity.
Yeah. Like, no. He recorded it in a room with some crappy microphones on a 4-track Tascam. Actually, it was a Mackie, but we won't get into that. So it's really like genuine lo-fi. I dig it. And, you know, when he hit the line about digging the bass line, part of me like kind of smirked like, okay, I gotcha. Like, I appreciate that, you know. Yeah, bass line was freaking good though. So simple. So simple.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, so this is the music that I knew from Jack Drag for years until, you know, a couple of weeks ago. And then I started listening to the rest of his stuff and was quickly very impressed by that too. So the next song we're going to listen to is from his 2002 album, The Sun Inside. This song is called I Could Never Let You Go. And it is, I guess I would say, in the catchiness department, it's a bit closer to Tall Buildings, though, to what we listen to. But this is what seems to me where the evolution of this guy's music goes, is like, now we are out of the, that album was like professionally produced and is, on a record label and everything. Now he's back to doing it independently, but also with everything he learned from before. So again, just super cool stuff going forward. This song is so freaking catchy. I Could Never Let You Go. It's off of the album The Sun Inside, which is also the intro to this episode, was a song called Smile on Fire, which is also from The Sun Inside. I really love this song, and I hope you do too. Please enjoy.
Got along until I fucked up. Now you're leaving, so I'll turn off the radio, 'cause it goes on, and I know how 1,000 ways to try, but I feel like a letter bomb, so I turn on the radio. 'Cause it goes on, and I know how it gets to you.
That was I Could Never Let You Go by Jack Drag, and that song just makes me smile. Reminds me a little bit of the Eels, To Jump in Front of You, and the whole, like, what does it remind me of thing. It does kind of remind me of some of the Eels' more, like, poppy sounding tunes, not their weirder stuff, but boy, the Eels, that's going to be a fun episode when we get to them someday. What a weird band that is. But you hear what I mean about, like, this kind of has, it has some of the, I guess, songwriting sensibilities of the first album, but like the production sensibilities of Dope Box, but even more modern, since we're talking, we're up in 2002 now. I just think it's a really freaking cool song. I have such a good time listening to it. What do you think of it?
You're right. It was really, really catchy. Obviously, that like that's you just reel it in. You got me hooked. You know what I'm saying? There's such this is so typical sounding of that time, this like late 90s, this kind of counter culture to what's happening kind of like on the hard rock scene, the heavy metal scene, which is where I was. It's I want to say it's almost experimental, because like that kick drum sounds huge. Like it's almost like a marching band,
Yeah.
Doom, doom, and then it's almost a fever dream, if you really kind of try and break it down to its, sum versus its parts. It's very interesting. It's so, like I said, it's so late 90s, but it's really good. I would be lying if I came up with something negative to say about it. You know what I'm saying? This is interesting. It's very, very interesting.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
I always enjoy myself, Kris. Somebody's got to.
Yeah, yeah, having a lot of fun, and we still got 3 more tracks to go from 2 different albums. So we're gonna move on to the album called 2018, which was from, you guessed it, the year 2018.
What?
I know, right? This is a song called "Hope Revisited," and it is well, it's another dang good song. So please enjoy.
Hey, I couldn't shoot straight. No, I could not walk away. Love written on the wall. It was there standing tall, but suddenly it's falling, and I can hear your heart beating next to someone else. I can only reach for hope. We launched the periscope, searching for a shore or an island, but found the enemy above, and dove in silence with hope, hearts and broken bones, a battle with no victory march. Oh no, let's take it home. Sweet love of youth has passed us, tears of useless passion and grace. Oh, and our love was antiquated, and desperation is underrated. Hey, the tremors of the day kept on rolling through the night. We couldn't stop the fall. There was never time for solace. But do you recall that everybody warned us, always on the road? We could only wait for hope. We launched the periscope, searching for a shore or an island, but found the enemy above, and dove in silence with hope, hearts and broken bones, a battle with no victory march. Oh no, let's take it home. Sweet love of youth has passed us, tears of useless passion and grace. Oh, and our love was antiquated, and desperation is underrated.
There you go. That was "Hope Revisited" by Jack Drag. A very fun song. Nice high energy. Brings me joy. How'd you like that one?
Joy is the right word. Joy is the exact word that I would use. It's such a great high energy, but not the way like a thrash metal song has high energy, or a gutter punk song has high energy. This was like everything about this song was this like positive, joyful, high energy, and I attribute that to that toy piano.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. I want to hear a dark song with a toy piano. I'm very curious. And not a cover. I want an original. Great track. I think, at the risk of, I don't know, trying to boil down a group, artist, band, whatever, but the evolutionary arc has been great. I think what you said is absolutely true. Having been on that major label, having that one record on the major label, and then unfortunately getting dropped, but offering himself the ability to go back to doing the way he wanted to do it. But again, with those lessons that he learned, I think this is great. I think this sonically it sounds great. It's nice and clean, and I think, I don't know about the rest of the record, but this track definitely serves well from a clean recording. You hear all kinds of things. The Wall of Sound from Phil Spector. You think of, the Misfits in the 70s recording in terrible conditions, but that's, part of the charm or whatever. This song would not do well there. It that 4-track that he started with, I think this is perfect.
I don't know. I really don't know what else I can add to that.
Yeah.
This is it's a great tune, and I again am kicking myself for not listening to this music a lot sooner than I did. But so this whole album 2018 is really, really solid. I liked this one quite a bit, and I kept going back to it and trying to choose what other song I wanted to pick from it, and I wound up with this song called Bloody Noses. It's a lot less. I think it's not like a hard left turn, but it is a bit different from it's a bit different from Hope Revisited, at least. So I think you'll like this one. This is called Bloody Noses. Enjoy. There you go. That was Bloody Noses from Jack Drag's album 2018. How'd that one grab you?
I really, really like that one.
I had a feeling you would.
That synthesizer is perfect.
Oh my God, isn't it?
It just sits so perfectly in the mix, and like the way it all just comes together is just perfect. It's and then the toy piano too. I like that toy piano, man. Yeah. Is there another singer there, or is that just him providing his own background vocals?
I really don't know. I want to say it's just him, but I could be wrong.
Well, regardless, let's assume it's him. Just the I mean, I think it goes without saying he knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
right? Wow, I don't even know what to say. Like those backing vocals really just they give it another great layer. That's another thing. Again, to go back to what I said, he knows what he's doing, right? These are beautifully layered tracks. Like there's a lot going on, and yet somehow makes it feel not heavy. It's like real light. Things feel sparse. Less is more, that sort of stuff. And it's crazy because this is clearly like a very layered piece of music, and it just, it doesn't feel overbearing.
It doesn't feel cramped. It has space for you to appreciate every piece of it.
Yeah, and everything does have a space. Like I was kind of being silly about that toy piano, but that toy piano exists in a place where it's just enough. And then, to have that synthesizer sitting under it, the drums, the dual vocals and stuff. This is really good. This might be my favorite track so far.
That doesn't surprise me. This one, when I heard this one, I was trying to think of what else to put on here. I was like, nah, I think Matt really needs to hear this one. I think this will really check some boxes for him. And this one gets stuck in my head all the time. I get this song is just really, it's quite the earworm, and it doesn't seem catchy at first, but like, man, this one sticks with me. Really
I think
does.
it's that secondary vocal, because it's almost haunting.
Yeah.
That ooh, whatever that,
and like that weird like choir singing "What If Nobody Knows."
Yes.
Like it's odd. It's almost off-putting, but it's really, really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, it's time to move on to the last song of the night.
I always hate this part.
Yeah, me too. This is a wonderful song. It's unfortunately from his most recent release, which was it's called "The Summer of Cuts and Bruises" from 2019. It's only an EP. It's only 3 tracks long. All 3 of them are great. And this one is my favorite. It's off of it. It's the first track. It's called "It's Something." And this was so when I started listening to newer Jack Drag stuff, I just kind of like background listened to it for a little bit. But this was the first one that really, when I actually sat down and put it on in a way that I could actually listen to the music, I went right for this newer one. I was like, well, what's the most recent thing first? Because I think I put on one of them just while I was walking the dog, and there was a lot of noise happening and other dogs, and my dog's crazy. So I didn't really catch on to it. So I listened to his newer stuff that I was just discovering backwards. And as soon as I started this one up, like, I don't know, it starts a little odd, and then it just kind of it just grabbed me hook, line, and sinker. So this song is called "It's Something." This is a wonderful, wonderful song. Please enjoy.
behind the California sunshine, sucks the blood from the fools who have dreamt of the east side and the west side and the best side of hope. You couldn't tell if it was coffee or it was coke. You didn't know if it was a crime or it was a joke. So you kicked your shoes off, closed your eyes lying in your room. You tried running from the truth, but the truth just followed you. Is something you can hold. Oh, it's something that won't let go. Is something you can hold. Oh, it's something you won't let go of.
Well, there you go. That was It's Something, and I just adore that song. I think it's stunning. I love how big everything sounds, and it
Mm-hmm.
really does feel like a culmination of everything we've listened to so far. Like, it feels like it pulls from every style that Jack Drag has messed with and just kind of really brings it together in this wonderful, gorgeous piece of music.
I'm glad you bring up every style that he's messed with, because there has been quite a bit of influence everywhere on every one of these tracks. It's been something a little different. Um, I mentioned I was trying to find a little information about this mysterious record that we just learned about. Um, and I sent you those articles with specific instructions, so please follow them.
Will do.
But in one of the write-ups, it mentions that there is a lot of styles represented. And I, reading that and then hearing everything and hearing you say it all comes together. And, it's no surprise that someone like this has gone on to do soundtracks, etc. It's no surprise someone like this continues to put out music. There's just such a vast pool to draw from. And then for a fact that John, aka Jack, has got to be like a student of the game, so to speak. He's got to be listening to all this stuff to be drawing these influences. And that to me makes you, better at what you do. And I think everything that I've heard has been fantastic. This track, right in there. It is, you're absolutely right. It's such a big, massive sounding track, but it goes back to what I was saying. There's not a lot going on. It's just being able to understand how sound works, being able to understand the effects and how to manipulate them to get, what you're looking for, so to speak. And I think that kind of is a throwback to the last episode with Vast, where that John does the exact same stuff. It's just kind of one man with a vision and this understanding of how to make that vision happen, and just creating these big pieces of music that are pretty and beautiful and light and airy, and yet, like gut punch you, for feeling and stuff. It's fantastic. So that song was fantastic. This episode has been really great. If I never listen to Jack Drag again, understand that you've made me a fan this episode, no question.
Wonderful to hear. Yeah, I'm a big fan, and this is music I will continue to come back to. I'm very curious about the Submarines, because while writing this script, I didn't know that he was involved in another band called the Submarines, and the song "I Feel Really Okay" that we played earlier reminded me of something else that I could have sworn I heard in a commercial. And when I was researching this episode, the Submarines made a song that I believe was used in an Apple commercial once, and I think that's the song that I was thinking of. So I'm gonna be doing a jump into the Submarines after sometime in the next week or so, just because I'm very curious to hear more of that music. Really, I just want to hear anything and everything that this guy's been involved in, because it's just such good music that I enjoy so very much. So. But with that said, that's going to wrap it up for us. That's my 10 tracks for Jack Drag. I'm really glad you enjoyed it, and that is going to be our show. Matt, it's your pick for our next episode. What are we going to be doing?
Well, the episode that you guys are listening to drops September, which means next month is October, which means it's Halloween.
Yup.
And keeping in tradition, I'm going to do another Halloween mixtape, this time volume 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Spooky season commences very soon.
I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it.
Some say it's the most wonderful time of the year.
That some would be me.
If we make a good pair, I'm the Christmas guy, you're the Halloween guy.
It's true, man. It's totally. But you know what's weird is it doesn't line up. I get October, you get November, and then I get December.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's true.
We'll figure it out.
Stupid calendars.
Stupid Romans.
Well, with that said, that's going to wrap things up for us. We here at Turning Tracks are incredibly grateful to everyone who listens, and we love communicating with you when we can. We have a couple of ways you can do that. There's the Geekade Discord channel, in which we have a Turning Tracks chat, where we hope to discuss all manner of stuff related to music and whatever our next episodes are going to be. And of course, you can always still send us an email at mail@geekade.com. And while you're at it, check out all our social media channels, which you should totally follow, like, and subscribe to if you haven't already. Turning Tracks and other Geekade podcasts are made possible thanks to the Geekade Patreon page. There, patrons can get access to a monthly podcast topic and recording schedule, get early access to most of Geekade's shows, including this one, and more. And if you've enjoyed our podcasts over the years, please follow the link in the description and give it a look. We really appreciate it. And finally, as always, be sure to check out all the other great content we have on our site over at geekade.com. We are going to be leaving you tonight with the final track off of the EP, The Summer of Cuts and Bruises, called The Summer of Cuts and Bruises.
Hey!
So, chronologically speaking, as far as I know, this is the most recent Jack Drag song. Again, this was only from 2019, so it's entirely possible that there will be more Jack Drag in the future. It's not that long of a lull between somebody making music, especially somebody who makes music in various other forms as well. So I got my fingers crossed this isn't the end of him, but still, it's a very good song, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the rest of this, and we'll see you next month for some spookiness. Have a good night.
Ooh. oh.